A solid beginner guitar with an insane look, and at this price, do you look like a win? You could just buy it to play air guitar. This is the Glarry Flame Style, this week on Learning Curve. Hello, I'm Spencer. This week on Learning Curve, I caved to the pressure of the World Wide Web. If you have ever even Googled the word guitar, lately you have been hit by a lot of ads from a company called Glarry. There's a couple of reviews up right now for some of their other guitars, so I figured it was time for me to do a Glarry review. Now, as you may or may not have noticed, we are still in a pandemic and the holidays are coming up. And for a lot of people, money is a little tight, so the guitar I'm about to show you only costs $79. Now, if you have somebody on your list, or if you are thinking about picking up the guitar to keep yourself busy this winter, or maybe you want to get it for your kid, or your spouse, or your girlfriend, or your buddy, or your whoever, look, at 79 bucks, you could do a lot worse than the Glarry Flame Style Guitar. So let's open up the box. Comes in a box. Let's see what we get. I'll tell you why I chose this one in a second. I should put music under this. That's more exciting. Now you want to build up the drama when you open a box, right? That's what people are paying all this money for on the internet, to get a big reveal. So let's see how we did here. Alright, this is the notorious Glarry gig bag. It is thin. It has been referred to as a dust cover. I see the point. Boy, graceful. I'm gonna fast forward through that. There we go. Shing. Okay. You got your gig bag. It's got a little zipper. It is not padded. It is very thin, but get you from point A to point B if need be. You got a strap, you got a tremolo, you got the you got your cord, you got a guitar pick. That's probably fine. All right, are you ready? This is a guitar. The reason I picked this one is because it looks like a guitar I drew on my Trapper Keeper when I was in 9th grade. This guitar, if you're shopping for a kid and you're buying them their first guitar or like their second or third guitar, this guitar makes a statement. So you're gonna either want to run this by them or run this by their friends, because this is a kind of shape that people are either gonna love or they're gonna hate, and I don't think there's a lot of room in between on this. I went with, there's your silicone. Very light. Oh, this is fun. All right. There's your headstock. Oh, the neck feels nice. free it. There we go. I forgot what the name of this is. It's like the fire style. I went humbucker, single coil humbucker because I don't have one yet. I went ridiculous shape because I don't have a ridiculous shape yet one, and I wanted one. So let's take a look at it. I mean, it looks guitarish. Good access. It's not in tune, but I don't think that's a bad thing. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn off the camera. I'm going to take a look at it. I'm going to tune it up. I'm going to plug it in. I'm going to play it for a couple of days. It's kind of awesome though, right? I hope it plays good. All right. Let's see what it can do. Okay, so let's go a little deeper and see what we're getting for 79 bucks. We can't talk about this guitar without talking about the looks. This guitar is not going to be for everybody, quite frankly, and if you're going to buy it for somebody as a surprise, you better either know their taste super well or find a way to kind of get feedback from them, because this is a divider. But I'm going to tell you, the people that like this guitar are going to love this guitar. It's got this ET finger on the upper horn that I really like. They describe it as flame style. To me, it looks like a guitar that the guitar player from the Bad Guy Band on Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas would play. It's kind of got that vibe to it. This guitar looks like the guitar that, like, if you have a friend who's not into heavy music, but they decide to go as heavy metal guy for Halloween, this is the guitar they're going to borrow. This guitar looks like the person that designed it ran it over to BC Rich, and the folks at BC Rich went, you know what? Call Glarry. Maybe take a whack at them. They might dig it. I like this guitar because I swear to you, this looks exactly like a guitar I drew on my Trapper Keeper when I was in 9th grade. Here's the thing with this guitar. This is a good stand in front of the mirror and practice your guitar faces guitar when you're 14, you know? Like, you can just, like, pose with it and, like, throw your hair back with it, and it's just got a really unique look to it, but it's not just looks. There is a real, honest-to-goodness, decent guitar in here. So this guitar is kind of a mashup of a bunch of different guitars. You got a 25.5-inch scale length like a Fender. You also have 24 frets, humbucker, single coil humbucker, kind of like an Ibanez. The headstock, kind of reminiscent of a PRS, which is good because it gives you that super straight string pull, which helps the guitar stay in tune. That's a big plus. You've got a truss rod cover, which a lot of guitars have truss rod covers, and this one does too. Now you'll notice the neck, it's a maple neck with a rosewood finish. It's got the shark inlays, that's a little on the Jackson-y side. The body itself, like I said, is a little bit like a BC Rich. The tremolo is very much like a Fender tremolo. And it's got two knobs and a switch. So the controls are a little bit on the Telecaster side, I would have to say. Now, this isn't a big deal, but there is a little bit of a paint flaw here on the headstock. But, I mean, it's a $78 guitar. You're going to have blemishes. It's just part of the deal. It doesn't affect the way it plays. It's totally fine. So the tuners seem fine. You know, they've got a little bit of give to them. Once you get the guitar in tune, it seems to stay in tune, so that's a plus. You are working with a Fender style trem that's got 3 springs in it, so every time you tighten it, it pulls on those strings and that adjusts everything. It seems like if you go through about 3 times when you're tuning, that gets everything to kind of where you want it to be. Am I going to change these tuners if I decide to do some mods on this guitar? More than likely down the road, but for now, they're totally fine. And if you open this on Christmas morning, no problem. You're going to be able to play it right out of the box. Like I said, this has kind of a PRS style headstock, which has got instead of a Fender straight headstock, it's more similar to a Gibson headstock in that it tilts back. It does have a Scart Joint, which means it's strong, right? So if your guitar falls over, it's less likely to break. I put a description of what a Scart Joint is in the... I put a link, rather, to a description of what a Scart Joint is if you really want to know. Basically, they take two pieces of wood with different wood grains and glue them, and it has a really good explanation. Anyway, link in the description. Look it up. But it's good. You want a Scart Joint. That's good. Now it's a little bit stronger for you, so that's nice. The nut seems like it's plastic. I put a little bit of pencil graphite in it. That seems to help with the string pull. It seems like as soon as you touch the trim on this thing, it goes out of tune. So I'm going to see if I can get that to work out later. For now, a little bit of graphite. Now, honestly, I was expecting to pull out the old fret file and get to work on the ends of these frets, but they are smooth. They feel great. It's really, really comfortable. This guy's got a 14-inch radius. It's got a satin finish. It kind of reminds me of a Kramer Focus I had in the 80s, but I haven't played that guitar in a long time, so that might just be my imagination. But suffice to say, I really like this neck. I'm really surprised at how much I like this neck. I didn't think I was going to be into it, but it's pretty great. Oh, one other thing. You got 24 frets here. Now, I've spent my entire life playing 21 and 22 fret guitars, so to be honest with you, it's taken me a second to get used to the 24th fret. It's not a big deal, but you just have to be a little more conscious of where your hand is, and it changes your muscle memory a little bit. So if I just didn't expect that. If you learn to play on this guitar, that won't be an issue for you at all, and it's not like it's a big deal. It's just a thing. Okay, let's take a look at the body. I chose the red one. It is red. And look, you could direct fighter planes onto an aircraft carrier with this thing. You got a basswood body. The website says it weighs about 6.7 pounds, and I'm not going to question that. This thing is super, super light. It's comfortable, too. I actually thought the ET horn was going to be a little, like, dig into your ribs or something, but I think it's fine. I'm very comfortable with it sitting and standing. We're going to open up the back now. There's a lot of room in here. It is going to be a fight not to put extra knobs on this for I don't know quite what yet, but who knows. You could hide your Bitcoins in here, maybe a puppy. You got your mini pots. They've got a really good taper. I did not expect them to be that good, but they sound great. All the pickups are 2 wires, so if you want to do push-pull pots with all this space, you're going to have to get different pickups. Sorry about that. Also, the jack grabs hold really firmly. It's not a bad jack at all. I'm really impressed with how good this stuff is in here. It's very neat. It's very tidy. They did a really good job. Now, the switch works just fine. It's a 5-position switch. Totally does its job. But the tip totally falls off. And I saw this on another video, so I don't know what happened. I tried to put a different switch on it, but the radius was too big around, and when it got to the 1st and 5th positions, the radius of the switch jammed into the body. So if I change the switch, perhaps that one will have a longer switchy thing, whatever. I don't know what that part's called. But if that's longer, that might solve this problem. I'm probably going to end up getting a new tip at some point too. We'll deal with that when we deal with it. And again, for $79, it's not a huge deal, but it's kind of like, bummer. It's fine. Totally fine. You got your chrome telly style knobs. I like those a great deal. Well, let's take a look in the trem cavity right now. You've got a 3-spring setup. That's great. If you ever decide to deck the trim, you're going to want to add a couple more springs to it. Quick side note, and I don't know if this is just this guitar or if this happened to all the guitars, but whoever soldered the ground wire to the tremolo it looks, they soldered it to one of the tremolo tabs, right? That's for putting a spring on. There's a little thing there in the middle. That's where you solder that to. So I'm going to float the trem on this at some point, and so it doesn't matter. But if I ever decide to just deck it and put 2 more springs on it so there won't be that give, which helps with tuning stability, I'm going to have to unsolder that and solder it to that tab right there. Not a big deal. Cheap guitar. Totally fixable. But if you are going to connect that spring, make sure you resolder that, because trust me, just resolder it. The pickups aren't bad. They are an Ibanez HSH configuration. The coils don't split. On an Ibanez, when you're in the 2 and the 4 position, the humbucker splits and goes with the single coil in the middle. That's not the case here. The neck is about 11K. The neck in the middle is 2.6. The middle by itself is 3.48. Okay, the bridge in the middle looks like it's coming in about 2.7. And the bridge by itself is about 11.8. The whammy bar screws in just like a Strat trim. Straight out of the box, I gotta say the intonation was not bad at all, but I did have to give it a little bit of a tweak, and I'll probably lower the action in the future a tiny bit as well. All right, let's see how it sounds. that's it. That's the Glarry Flame Style Guitar. Is that going to be an awesome Christmas present? Absolutely. Is it really good for 78 bucks? Yeah, it totally is. Does it have its flaws? I mean, of course it has its flaws, but it's a $78 guitar, and you can guitar with it. You can guitar all day long. It guitar noises like crazy. Also, it looks like it's a pretty good mod platform, which is what I'm going to do with it next. But give it a shot if you're looking for a cheap guitar. Maybe, you know, again, maybe you got a kid who says they want to play guitar, they'll pick it up, use it twice, then you're not out of fortune. And it plays nice. So give it a shot. I hope that was helpful. I hope you liked this video. If you did, do me a favor. Subscribe, share, like, click the little bell. Do all those things. Hope you're doing okay. It's been a crazy, crazy, crazy year. And hopefully it will get less crazy soon, but right now it's still a little bananas, at least as of this taping. So try to be nice to each other. Try to take care of each other. Try to take care of yourself. Hope you're doing good. I hope you're playing a lot of guitars. My name's Spencer. We'll see you next time.